Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Gasson here. Forgive me. You know, I was coming home. And from my son's soccer game. And you know, we ain't got nothing else to do tonight. Had 2 games in one day. Son had 2 games in one day. Won the first game 9-1. Tied the second game 2-2. He scored 5 goals in his first game, in his middle school game. Then he played in his club game after that. And so we've done for the night. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna hop on here because the devil mad. And when you make the devil mad, see, one thing about me, when I see the devil mad, I'm finna be on his head. You hear me? When the devil mad, and I'm finna be on his head. So, devil, listen here, you gonna have to see me some more. You hear me? When the devil mad, you got to stomp on his head. You hear me? Because it's a work being done. And the work that's being done right now is the work of real men. The work that being of real men. And when real men doing work, you're going to have the devil mad. And he going to be, you know, riled up because it's a shift happening. It's a change happening. And you got to understand the ripple effect. So one person can say something and it can reach 10 people, and then 10 people could reach 100, and then 100 people could reach 1,000. So when you start to slowly but surely upend what the devil trying to do, which is, you know, grown boys dominating and domineering over women and being a tyrant and trying to, you know, operate from their pain and their everything that they done dealt with, their childhood trauma, all the stuff they done went through, and they operating from that space, and it's breaking down the family, it's breaking down the household. So when that right there starts to happen, hey, you got to keep your foot on the devil's neck. You hear me? And keep going. So I say, hey, I'm gonna pop on in here. And Pretty Black, I'm not sure what you talking about, but that ain't none of my business what somebody else saying about me. So, you know, like they used to say, when somebody say, somebody was talking about you, and then say, well, why they felt comfortable talking about me to you? So don't come telling me what somebody said about me. What did you tell that person about me? What do you know about me that you told that person? You see what I'm saying? Because people gonna talk. When you out here and you doing the Lord's work and you making moves, people gonna have stuff to say. So, like your grandma used to always say, they talked about Jesus. Okay, I remember a man told me, he said, you can't stop for every barking dog. If you trying to get somewhere, you can't stop for every barking dog. Cause you stop for every barking dog, then you ain't gonna ever get where you got to go. All right, so understand that right there. So don't ever bring me no bone from nobody else who ain't got no house to live in and no pot to pee in and no window to throw it out of. You hear me? Because we doing the Lord's work over here. So understand that. Let them keep talking. Because they talking, that mean that PR. That free PR. Now let me see. I'm gonna get some of your questions. And now some of y'all was asking me about one of my videos where I was talking about I'm in love, you know, with my wife. And I had to block one lady because anytime a person they new on here and they take, you know, my sense of humor too serious and want to get in the comments all righteous in their feelings, they meet the block button. And then they got to tell me what it feel like to be on the other side of a block button. And so on that video, what I was talking about in there is that as a real man, and if you ever met a real man, then you know one when you see one. Real recognize real. So if a real woman gonna recognize a real man. And any real woman and any real man know that it ain't nothing, you know, soft and scared and weak about me. But when you become a real man, that's when you really understand that your strength is in your gentleness. And a lot of men who call themselves alpha men is really punks. A lot of men who call themselves alpha men is really the real simps. A lot of men who call themselves alpha men is really struggling from being traumatized their whole life. Whether they was picked on because they was looks challenged, whether they was less fortunate and they took that to heart and they let it make them feel less than, whether they daddy abandoned them. And so they take that childhood trauma, they take that pain, and then they go into this space and they start to operate from that pain, and they start to operate from that trauma, and they start to make everybody else, they bleed on everybody else and make everybody pay for their insecurities. So what you'll see is you're going to see so many men who calling themselves alpha men, they really is soft. They the real simps. They really is butt hurt. And so for them, in order for them to be a man, they have to put a woman down. They got to make a woman feel less than. They got to make the woman the tail when they call themselves the head. But see, the way with me being a man, with me being a real man, and y'all let me talk to you for a minute. I ain't answering no question right now. I'm talking to you. With me being a real man, when one thing you're going to notice about a real man is that he realizes is that it's two sides of a brain. So it ain't just one side of a brain. It's two sides of a brain. And both sides do something different. So a woman going to see something different than a man. A woman going to do things different than a man. But it's your differences that make you strong. The strength is in your differences, not your similarities. So one thing about a man, although we say, oh, the man is the head, some men take that so literal and don't understand that they can only see one way. And they don't understand that that woman is also the head. What I mean by that, the good book say that you submit one to another. It say, wives, love your husband serve your husband submit unto your husband as unto the Lord. But then it say, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. So when both do that, it levels the playing field. So if you submit unto your husband as unto the Lord, but then he loves you the way Christ loved the church, now the playing field is even. Because what a lot of men don't understand is that if you take care of your woman mentally, emotionally, physically, you take care of your woman, and she can trust you, then you don't have to compete for who's the head. You ain't got to say, oh, I'm the head, you the tail. Oh, I'm an alpha male. Oh, I'm an alpha male. You a woman. Listen, get in your place. You ain't gonna tell me what to do. I'm a man. You don't have to do all that when you love your woman and you respect your woman and you treat your woman like she is an equal, not like she is less than. So although she may be the weaker vessel, according to the good word and according to your physical strength and what have you, she still is qualified to think for herself, and her thought process can take your life to another level. But see, it's a lot of simps out here that got it confused, and they think that putting a foot on the neck of a woman make them a man. No, that make you a punk. That make you a punk. That make you a chump. That make you a wimp. That you got to be putting a woman down and talking about her thoughts don't matter. Her thoughts insignificant. She less than. So that you could feel like you more of a man. No, you's a punk. You's a punk, and you got to go to therapy, and you got to get healing, and you got to work on yourself and stop calling real men simps. Stop calling real men punks. Cause see, that's the pot calling the kettle black. No. And see, that's what's going on today. And so now it's going to be women that take advantage of that and that use that. But see, as a real man, he's not going to let a woman mistreat him and disrespect him and dog him out. He going to check her. So understanding that a woman has a mind to think for herself don't mean a real man allows a woman to run over him. It don't mean that a woman call all the shots. But what it means for me as a married man, see, a lot of men that's talking about being alpha males and red pill this and MGTOW, they not married. They single or they in a relationship. And they're not married because they non-committal and they're afraid to sacrifice and they're afraid to be humble, and they are afraid to get married because it requires a sacrifice. It requires discipline. It requires self-love. It requires self-respect. And so they're afraid to get married because they still butthurt from childhood trauma. They still got PTSD from what they went through growing up, from being bullied, from being abandoned, from being talked about, from being looks challenged, from being mistreated, from being cheated on by the loose booty woman that they was chasing after for all the wrong reasons. And then boom, she served him up what he had been asking for. Everything that he had done wrong to somebody else, she happened to be reaping what he had sowed. And so now these men, they coming as grown men and they hurting. They insecure. They lost. They broken. And now they want to break a woman. They want to put a woman down and stand on a woman's shoulder so they can feel like a giant. You lost, my brother. You not no alpha male. You's a weak male. You's a lost male. You's an immature male. And what you need to do is you need to go to God, and you'll understand that God tells you in his word that a man who finds a wife finds a good thing and receives favor from the Lord. That's why the Bible tells you, and that's why in the good word, it draws such a parallel as to say, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Even if you don't believe in Christ, when you study the story of Christ and the sacrifice that he made for the salvation of the people, then you understand how great a love has to be from husband to wife. And in that, you understand there is no domineering. There is no tyranny. There is no you coming and thinking that you lead with an iron fist. No. Your strength is in your gentleness with your woman. Your strength is in your ability to lead in love. See, you don't lead by dominating. You don't lead by controlling. You don't lead by manipulating. You don't lead by telling a woman that at a certain point her thoughts are insignificant. That's not how you lead. You lead by example. You lead in love. So if you love this woman and you sacrifice for this woman, then every shot you want to call, she's going to look. And because she trusts you, because she knows that you love her, then she's going to say, okay. So see, for a lot of people, like with my wife the other day, I went the other day and some men said, oh, when you in business, you can't let no woman lead you. No, I wouldn't be where I am without the wisdom of my wife. My best books, it was her idea. I earn in my sleep. But it's my wife supporting me to help me get to that place. And so the other day, I went and I bought my sister a car and I bought my security guard a car. He's also my best friend. I bought 2 cars in the same day. And my wife, she could have said, no, we're not doing that. No, we cannot do that. And she could have had this scarcity mindset because that's something big to do. That's a big thing. But I say, listen, she know I can go and get it. She know that I'm a grind. She know that I'm not afraid of work. So she said, okay, if that's what you want to do, I support it. Go ahead. So she went ahead and she said, I'm going to support you. So she let me call that shot, but she trusts me that I'm going to lead. She trusts me that I'm going to provide. She trusts me that I got the ambition to get up and go work. So that although I spent $70,000 cash in one day, she said, I know you can go and get it back. I know that God's going to honor what you're doing in your life, being a blessing to your loved ones, to our loved ones, our family, being a blessing. I know it's going to come back tenfold. So what a lot of simps don't understand, this the men who calling themselves alpha man, to even call yourself an alpha male, let me know that you lost, because it ain't no such thing. You just a man. And when you a man, you ain't got to define yourself with no word, with no letters. You don't have to elevate yourself and debase the woman to make yourself feel like a quote unquote alpha male. You just operate in your manhood. And when you operate in your manhood, a woman recognizes when she in front of a real man. A man recognizes when he in front of a real man. That's why what I'm talking about and what I do on here, I work with multi-millionaire men. Last night, I'm on the phone with one of the greatest to ever do what he does in his industry. One of the absolute greatest to ever do it. The highest paid to ever do it in his industry. And they never once have a man come to me and say, Tony, you lying, face to face. They'll say it on the internet for clout. They'll say it on the internet for clout because they want their name said, because they want to get in an argument. But see, I don't argue with a fool because from a distance, people can't tell the difference. You done heard that before. But see, real recognize real. And these guys who calling themselves MGTOW, red pill, alpha male, don't look familiar. But see, my life speaks for my life speaks for the philosophy that I have adopted to love my wife as my equal, not less than me, not like I'm the head and she the tail. If I'm the head, then she the spine. If I rip your spine out your back, then who are you? If I take your spine out your back, then what are you? You a vegetable. So while you calling yourself the head, take that spine out your neck. Take that vertebrae out the back of your neck. And then what you can't turn your head, you can't do nothing, you gonna die. If I rip your spine out you gonna die. If I rip your spine out you a vegetable, you can't move, you can't do nothing. And that's what men, real men, have to step up and not be afraid to understand that your strength is in your gentleness. Your strength is in your ability to lead with love, not trying to dominate, domineer, control, manipulate, deceive, debase, demean, but to uplift your woman, to give her a voice so that she can operate in her highest self, so that she can operate in her fullness, and so that she can help you elevate. And see, for a lot of men, the only thing they understand is money. That's all they care about. All they care about is money and business. And so they think that if you love a woman, and this woman speak for the so-called alpha male that and the grown boys that come and peep in on my videos. And this the only time I'm gonna say this, and I might have to say it again. For the men who saying that because I love my wife and I serve my wife, that's gonna hinder me and that make me soft in business. Let me ask you this: if that's the case, then how do I make 7 figures? You know what 7 figures is? $1 million or more. How do I earn $1 million or more sitting at home with no staff, with no team, if me loving my wife is going to hinder my business? How do I have over 50 streams of income and 13 companies? How do I have that if me loving my wife and me honoring my wife is going to make me weak in business? Explain that to me. Explain that to me, alpha male. And why are you as an alpha male broke, busted and disgusted, struggling and stressing, worrying about what another man doing with his platform? The reason why is because you have not tapped into love. Because when you learn how to love a woman righteously and purely, that's when you unlock the next level of your life. That's when you unlock the next level of your life. Because when you do that, you tap into a part of your brain that has never been explored. So you unlock your mind in a way that a schoolhouse can't teach you, in a way that a mentor, that a business consultant cannot teach you. When you unlock love, because why? Love is the greatest gift known to mankind. So when men unlock genuine and pure love, and this is what I tell every single man, they say, man, what's the key to your success? Tony, how you got over 50 streams of income? Tony, how you make 7 figures, $1 million up from home without having to go anywhere? I learned love. It ain't just about business. See, when I serve my wife with love and I lead in love, it unlocked my mind. Because in that moment, I learned self-control. In that moment, I learned dignity, self-respect, and self-love. So when I unlock that love, it allows me to elevate to my highest form. But when I'm demeaning and debasing and degrading and minimizing my woman, then that has me operating and vibrating on a level that is less than my highest self. So what you have to realize is that's where you have to get to. So while you calling yourself a alpha male, while you calling yourself men going your own way, while you calling yourself red pill men, all of that, you weak, you lost, because God made a woman for a reason and not just to kiss your behind. He gave her abilities and attributes and mental assets that you do not possess. That's why she helps you elevate, the right woman. But see, you only get the right woman when you operating from the right place. Because what you're doing as a grown boy is you judging a woman by her booty. You judging a woman by her beauty. You judging a woman by those things alone. And then you want a woman who's going to lick her wounds and debase herself and put you on a pedestal and make you feel like a king and make you feel like a man, but you making her feel like a handmaid. You making her feel like a concubine, but you expect for her to make you feel like a king. And you want her to lick your because you less than a man, because you weak, because you insecure, because you broke, because you still traumatized from childhood. So you want her to put you on a pedestal and to sing your praises. Oh, you so smart. Oh, you so handsome. Oh, you such a man. Oh, you called the shots. Oh, that's what you want her to do because of your insecurity, because of your weakness. And a woman who look you in your eyes and she check you and she call you out and she questions you and she challenges you and she push you to another level, that woman makes you afraid. That woman, you fear that woman because she calls out the insecurity in you. She offends, her confidence offends your insecurity. And so you start to feel like less than a man. So you want a woman that you could put your foot on her neck and you could tell her what to do. When you say jump, she say ha ha. And that makes you feel quote unquote like an alpha male. You's a punk. And you got to sit down and you got to look at the man in the mirror and you got to confront yourself. And you got to become a real man. You got to get over your daddy wounds. You got to get over your mama wounds. You got to get over being bullied. You got to get over being punked. You got to get over being touched as a child. You got to sit down and do the therapy that you need. You got to get the mental health that you need. You got to do the work that you need so you can understand what it is to be a real man. That's what you got to do. And Latif, be careful what you're saying, because we know you talking to the men, but when you say that, it could sound like you talking to me. So just say y'all, don't say you. Okay, be careful with that. So understand this, to y'all so-called alpha men that's tuned in. Stop being a punk. Stop being a chump. Stop calling the next man who a real man a simp, a man who honors and respects a woman and knows her value. Because guess what? I don't have to argue with my wife about what I want to do. I ain't got to twist my wife's arm. I ain't got to put hands on my wife. I ain't got to debase my wife. I ain't got to demean my wife. I ain't got to make my wife feel dumb for her to honor and respect me, for her to let me call a shot. What I do is I love her. I cherish her. I treat her with love and respect. And she say, you know what? Now I know you a real man. Now I could trust you. What we finna do? What's the play? You the quarterback. Call the play. You hear what I'm telling you? So that's what you got to understand about manhood. So a grown boy can't tell me nothing about being no simp, because you can't explain nothing to me. Because if we sit down and if you don't respect love, guess what? We could go dollar for dollar. We could go dollar for dollar. So for the women, excuse me, talking money, because it's offensive to you. Because a lot of you don't judge a man by that. But see, men, that's all they see. So they think that you got to dominate a woman and be disrespectful to women and put a woman under your foot in order to be tough in business. Tell me why I get paid 300% of what a company say that I'm worth. When a company come to me and say, look, we got 20,000 for you. Tell me why I got 75,000. Tell me how am I weak in the boardroom? Tell me how am I weak in the boardroom when I get paid over 300% of what the industry, of what the market says my value is. It's because of the space that I operate from, because of the level that I tapped into when I learned how to love and treat a woman. And this is what I know as a man. This coming from a man that sold drugs in the street, that hustled 21 out of 24 hours a day, that was sitting in a college classroom on a football scholarship with a quarter pound of weed. That every day after I lost my football scholarship and got kicked off the team and I had to go get in another college, I was sitting in college with a quarter pound of weed and a 380 in my backpack with my notebook and pencil. This coming from a man who thought he was a man. This coming from a man who used to put hands, who used to disrespect disrespect, who used to demean, who used to dog out. This coming from a man who will sleep with 3 women in a 24-hour span. This coming from a man who had been with more than 100 women by the age of 21. So y'all grown boys, y'all so-called alpha males want to call somebody a simp and cream puff and wimp and wussy and all this. Boy, what you think is a man, is a lost, confused boy. What you think is a man, I did all that. Everything that you did. Your girlfriend that you had wanted me. The women that you thought you had, I was taking them women in a day. In less than a day. I know what it is to be a grown boy. I know what it is to be a punk. When I sleep with 3 women in one day. And I was broke, busted, and disgusted. Wasn't even no millionaire. And had more women than I could count. That's what y'all call manhood? Man, that right there is a simp. That right there is a grown boy. That's lost. Guess what? But me being a one-woman man, me honoring, me uplifting, me cherishing my wife, me respecting my wife. You can't, because see, when I was that man, that what y'all call a man, when I was that man and I was in the streets hustling and I was pulling triggers and I had guns and I'm doing all that and I'm thinking I'm somebody, I was lost. I was hurt. I was broken. Just like y'all boys is online today. Online calling people simps. I just seen a boy in my DM, not my DM, my comment. Oh, simp. But then they'll say, oh, that make you weak in business. But then they'll come up to me. These men will come up to me and they'll see me with $20,000 worth of chains on. They'll see me get out of a $300,000 car. They'll see me earn 7 figures and then they sitting there struggling and they say, well, how you did that? Oh, I thought you was a simp. How you did that? I say, boy, I'm a tech entrepreneur. I own tech companies. I say, boy, I own software online. You hear me? I say, boy, I build business. I got 13 businesses. Boy, I got over 50 streams of income. I'm probably at 65 now. I stopped counting at 53 streams of income. I say, boy, and you know why I did that? Because I learned how to love a woman. Because I understand that a man's rite of passage is to love a woman purely. In my eyes, you are not a man until you learn how to love a woman without controlling her, without deceiving her, without manipulating her, without dominating her, without cheating on her. That's when you become a man. So y'all ladies, forgive me for flexing tonight. Forgive me for flexing tonight. But for the grown boys, I just want y'all to understand this because all you speak is money. But tell me why, if I'm a simp, tell me why I bought 10 cars in a pandemic. If I'm a simp, tell me why I bought my dad a Maserati. Tell me why I bought my mama a 2020 Mercedes-Benz and put her in a house. Tell me why I bought my sister a Mercedes-Benz and bought my security guard a GMC Sierra 1500 in the same day. If I'm a grown boy, tell me why. So all y'all grown boys is motivated by money. See, the reason why I don't flex my money, but I'm gonna flex for you tonight because if you thought we was on the same level, I'm gonna flex for you tonight since you think that loving your wife make you a simp. I'm gonna flex for you. Tell me why I create tech projects that make 6 figures and go into a bank account that I don't even touch. Tell me why. If I'm a simp, tell me why. Explain it to me. Let me put my foot up on the desk and take my time. And now tell me, alpha male, why you broke, busted, and disgusted. You see what I'm saying? But here I am loving my wife as a one-woman man. Tell me why you struggling to get one woman. And it's real men that could have 100 women and only want one. Turn down the 99 for the one. Explain that to me, alpha male. Explain to me why we in different positions in life. Explain it to me. Explain it to me why God retired me from working for somebody else at the age of 27. Come on now. Explain it to me. Do you want me, grown boy, who calling me a simp and a cream puff? Do you want me, since you talking about a woman mind is no good when a man doing business? Do you want me to go and show you my wife 2020 G-Wagon? Do you that's a special color, that is one of the only ones in the state of Florida? Do you want me to go show you that? Do you need to look at a Bentley? Do you need to see the Maserati? What you want to see, grown boy, for me to explain to you, for me to get you to understand that me loving my wife purely is what helped me go to a level that you will never be at, as long as you calling yourself an alpha male, a red pill male, a MGTOW man. If you want to go dollar for dollar, we could do it. If you want to go business for business, we could do it. We could do it. Tell me why I became a best-selling author in my early 20s. Tell me why I speak on 3 continents. Tell me why I became an intercontinental speaker before the age of 30. Tell me why I retired at the age of 27. Tell me why, if loving your woman make you weak. Tell me why. Explain it to me. Explain it to me when you put your woman as your equal and you love her and you respect her mind. Explain it to me, grown boy, how that make you less than a man. How that make you a simp. How that make you a cream puff. See, y'all don't even know what y'all talking about because you ain't never been on both sides of it. You ain't been on both sides because you ugly inside and out. So you have not been on both sides. But when you can look good on the inside and your character can look good and you can become a real man who know what it is, See, go find these so-called alpha male and tell me one, ladies, that you think is cute, inside or out. That's why they mad. They mad because they were bullied. Tell me why that as a football player, running backs average 5 yards a carry, but I average 10.2 yards a carry. Tell me why I got a full football scholarship to college, at a college that don't even give full scholarships. Tell me why. See, you ain't been on both sides of it. You ain't been an absolute dog and a 100% man. See, when you become 100% man and you learn how to love and respect and to cherish a woman, and you learn how to treat this woman as your equal, not less than you. You learn how to treat this woman as your backbone, your spine, your support system, your lover, your friend, your business partner, and you marry her and you give her a commitment until death do us part. When you learn how to do that, you unlock a part of your brain that allows you, that teaches you discipline, that teaches you self-love, that teaches you self-respect, that teaches you honor and dignity and integrity. And when you do that, you unlock universal laws. See, the reason why, grown boy, the reason why you broke, busted, and disgusted, you can make 6 figures and you ain't touching 10% of what you could have because your mind trapped in the mindset of looking at a woman as your opponent. You looking at your woman as your opposition. You looking at a woman as though she is less than you. You don't understand what submission means. See, you don't have a mission, but you want a woman to be in submission to you. You's a lost man. You's a lost boy posing as a man. You's a boy in a grown man's body. You weak and you lost, and you hearing from the adversary. You hearing from Satan himself. And the reason why you hearing that way is because you don't understand the bigger picture. You don't understand that you have the power in your hand to build up or to tear down. And you don't understand. Let me turn the comments off because we don't need to talk right now. Because we got people that's confused and stuff, and we ain't trying to man bash or nothing, all that. This right here, this just real talk. And I ain't taking no question. I know I said Q&A, but let me talk to the grown boys. Let me talk to the real simps who calling me a simp. See, what you don't understand is that the adversary wants you to see a woman as less than. He wants you to see her as less than so that you can debase her and demean her. And when you do that, you confuse your children You confuse your daughter because your daughter want to grow up and be powerful. Your daughter want to grow up and have a voice. Your daughter want to grow up and have agency in her life. Your daughter want to grow up and not have to depend on a man. But because you see your woman as less than you, your daughter grows up and she don't know her worth. So she goes into a relationship and she get beaten on, she get cheated on. Because she saw her daddy so-called call himself an alpha man and thought that mean that if he an alpha man, he got to put his woman down. That his woman don't get no say-so in his business adventure, in his business endeavors. That his woman don't get no say-so in areas that he feel like is only authorized territory for a man. And don't understand, he forget that he come out of a woman. He forget that a woman carried him for 9 or 10 months. He forget that a woman put her breast in his mouth and fed him. He forget that when his daddy ran out on him, his mama was there who held him up. His mama was there who encouraged him. So-called alpha man, you forgetting the value of the woman that raised you. You forgetting the value of a woman. But see, as a real man who earned millions of dollars, since you think every man who love and honor his wife is broke, as a man who earned millions of dollars, I understand the value of a woman. And I understand that she's an asset and not a liability. I understand that she can help me build or she could tear down. But I understand that if she want to tear down, she going to want to tear down if I tear her down. And I understand that she could slit my throat in my sleep. I understand that she could embezzle money. I understand that she could steal from me if I make her feel like she less than. But if I treat her like a queen instead of like a handmaid, like how you talk about women, if I treat her like a queen, then she don't want to tear down the castle that she come to live in. She don't want to tear down the castle that she helped build brick by brick, because she understands that she's an equal partner in this adventure we call life. She understands that she is equal and not less than. She understands that weaker than a weaker vessel does not mean that it's my right to demean her and to degrade her, but instead to uplift her, to build her up, to encourage her, to inspire her, and to allow her to let her keep her agency instead of trying to deceive and manipulate her. See, she understands that if I win, she win. That if she win, I win. She understands that we teammates and we not opponents. And all she want to do is make sure that she's an asset, because she realizes that I see her as an asset, that I value her mind in the boardroom, in the bedroom, on the basketball court, on the soccer field, in front of the TV, in the church house, in the schoolhouse. She realizes and she understands that I value her. And because of that, she's able to operate in her fullness as her highest self. And that is when I get to see the majesty of God. That is when I get to see what fearful and wonderfully created truly means. That is when I get to see a woman in her true essence. And that is when her value is brought to the table and we able to multiply instead of divide. See, what you so-called alpha men don't understand is that you're dividing and conquering in your own household because you think you better than your woman, because you think you smarter than your woman, because you think that being the head means you call the shots and she got to deal with it. But then when the ship start to sink, when you suffering from ED, when you have a stroke, when you have a heart attack, when you go broke, when you lose the money in the ill-advised investments that you made because you called yourself a man and didn't want to hear her intelligence, didn't want to hear her mindset. When you lose your money in them ill-advised investments, now you want her to work a job and hold you up. Now you want her to float you some money. Now you want her to carry you, because you so-called an alpha male and you demean her and didn't allow her to use her righteous mind for herself and on your behalf. Because if she in the kingdom, if she in the castle, she wanted to flourish. She not in the castle to bring about a famine. She in the castle to make sure that it flourishes. But you have to honor and respect and love your woman. See her as your equal. I'm the head of the household, but my wife is also the head of the household because we submit one to another. So if I want to call a shot and my wife don't agree with that shot, then guess what? If I call the shot and she's not in agreement, then everything I do is hindered because we're not on one accord. A house divided cannot stand. But what is my job to do as a real man is choose a woman who is a real woman, and choose this woman not for her beauty or her booty, but to choose this woman for her heart, for her mind, for her intangibles, not her tangibles, the intangibles that she brings to the table. And to understand that this woman can not only bring a table to the table, but she could build the table. And when you honor and you respect the woman on that level, that's when you experience true life. So to the grown boys who call yourself alpha men, who call me a simp, what you want to compare? Peace? I know you ain't happy as me. I know you ain't happy as me because you ain't got a queen that you could lie down next to. And you know why you don't have a queen? Because you see her as a handmaid. You see her as a concubine. You have stolen her queenship. So I know you ain't peaceful as me. I know you ain't joyful as me. I know you ain't happy as me. I know you're not as blessed as me. What do you want to compare? Assets? My portfolio diversified. What you want? I got ETFs. I got IRAs. I got stocks. I own Tesla, Starbucks. I just bought Palantir at $8.90. It's almost $30 today. So what you want to compare? Where in business, alpha male, are you outdoing me? I got 13 companies. How many you got? I got 50 plus streams of income. How many you? So tell me where I'm losing at for allowing my wife, for me not trying to steal my wife's voice. Tell me where I'm losing. I just pulled up in a Bentley Continental GT Speed. And before I got in that, I got out of a G-Wagon. Tell me where I'm losing at. Grown boy, tell me. So this is what I want y'all to understand. For the alpha male that call yourself an alpha male, you misunderstanding manhood. Manhood is not dictated and determined by your terminology, by the definition that you want to give yourself. Manhood is not, you are not a man because you don't let your woman call shots. You're not a man because you see your woman as an opponent and not a teammate. You're not a man because you're not man enough to allow a woman to operate in her strengths and to call shots. If I see what my wife's stronger than me in an area, she the head in that area. If she see where I'm stronger than her in an area, I'm the head in that area. So yes, I am the head, but she is also the head because she see things I cannot see. She know things I do not know. My wife got a master's degree. Even if she didn't have a master's degree, she got a PhD in life. She got a PhD in common sense. Biomedical science. She reads 600 words a minute. She read and comprehend the whole book before I even got through the foreword. You see what I'm telling you? Some of my best creations. My first book my wife invested in. Now I'm an author of 17 books and I stopped counting, so I might be at 25. I signed a 6-figure book deal with an agent who came and found me. And I packaged the whole deal. I titled the book. I wrote the book. I did the marketing plan with a top 5 publisher, Simon & Schuster. I did the work that they were supposed to do. So tell me how I'm weak in the boardroom, in the business room, when I'm winning on every level. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because I tapped into God's promise that when you find a wife, you find a good thing and you receive favor from the Lord. Guess what? You can go get a doctorate and it can't match God's favor. You could go get certified in everything you want to be certified and it won't match God's favor. My wife said to me this year, she said, baby, you made $1 million in 8 months. Working from home with no staff. That needs to be taught. She say, teach that. For the men that feel like you got to have an office space and you got to have 30 staff to be a millionaire. She say, teach them what you did. I say, baby, they're not ready because they think manhood means being a player. They think manhood They think being good in business means disrespecting women. They think manhood and being good in business mean calling themselves MGTOW and alpha male and red pill. I say, so they're not ready to understand the keys to success that I have discovered. They're not going to understand how I earn $200,000 in a week. They're not working from home. They're not ready to understand that because they don't understand what I tapped into and what I channel, because I have love. Men say, what's your greatest asset? Love. Because love is the greatest gift given to mankind. Love. When you read a real book, you read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he'll tell you the power of a woman. He talk about sexual transmutation. He talk about when you inspired by your woman. He talk about the inspiration of a woman is what have made thousands and thousands of men millionaires. But see, you broke, busted, and disgusted, living paycheck to paycheck because you calling yourself an alpha male. So you operating from a limited state of mind. You operating from a reduced state of manhood, because until you unlock love, you have not unlocked the fullness of your heart and mind. So understand what I'm telling you. What you want to look at: bank accounts, stock portfolios, retirement accounts. What you want to see, since you call yourself a real man. Where you want to be at. Any man who come to me, little boy today, young boy today, he say, sir, what do you do? He said, I've never seen a Bentley like this. He said, sir, what at this gas station, what do you do? Because I want to have one day myself. I love my wife. I tapped into love. I became a real man. I don't drink to get drunk. I don't curse, because you can't mix profanity with the sacred. You can't mix the profane with the sacred. So I don't use curse words. I don't watch pornography. I don't masturbate. I don't gamble. See, when I remove devices from my life that's crippling you so-called alpha men, that's when I elevate it. But in order to do that, that's self-love. Self-love is the highest form of love. It's above loving someone else, because in order to truly love someone else, you got to fully love yourself. But see, what you understand about real love is not just loving in a way that you allow someone to take advantage of you. Real love means, self-love means that you hold the people you love accountable. It means that my wife don't get over on me. My wife don't take advantage of me. My wife ain't got me whipped. My wife don't use me. I'm a man in every sense of the word. But I don't have to twist my wife's arm to call a shot in my household, because I've established trust. I've established real love. I've established respect. And that's what the men of this society is missing. If there's a network, BET, VH1, if one of y'all executives watching this, tell me what it'll cost for me to air this on your station for an hour, and I cut the check. I wire it to you. Because the reason why we losing is because of so-called alpha men. Because they breaking down the household. They're destroying the household because they're demeaning a woman and then trying to raise children. The reason why black men in general are losing is because we don't respect our women. We don't respect. And when I say our women, I'm not talking about you juggling multiple women. I'm talking about man to man. We don't respect our woman. We cheat on her. We demean her. We debase her. We disrespect her. We degrade her. We tell her that she's stupid and she's dumb and that she's not on our level. We tell her that she can't speak to what we're doing in business. We tell her that she's holding us back because she won't let us go get a credit line to buy 10 diesel trucks. And now they getting ready to move stuff through drones. Now they getting ready to move stuff through self-driving vehicles. But we done bought trucks and we trying to man the trucks and the streets drying up. They getting ready to have diesels driving themselves. I mean, electronic Tesla trucks driving themselves. But yet you done talk your woman into going to get 10 trucks and trying to find 10 drivers. And you broke, busted, and disgusted. So your truck cost $20,000. So you spending more money in maintenance than you is making money. Everything you making going back out. But if you would have sat and listened to your woman, she would have said that's not the right move right now. She would have said the industry moving somewhere else. She would have said, instead of you buying trucks, you could be a dispatcher for the people who still buying trucks. Instead of you taking on that overhead, she would have gave you another plan. She would have helped you strategize because she read different. She think different. She sees different. But because you think you are alpha male, you stole her voice. You debase her and put your foot on her neck. Only thing you want her to do is cool you down from getting into a fight. Because you know if you come my way, you're going to get shot. I ain't got time to throw punches. I'm going to put you in your grave. And it's going to be self-defense. So that's when you want her to jump in the way. But when it comes to anything else in the household, oh, woman, shut up, I'm the man. And you call yourself a man, you's a punk. You's a punk. So tonight, this is a public service announcement. We losing because of you, grown boy. Your daughter lost and confused because of the way you treat her mama. Your son lost and confused because of the way you treat his mama. When you become a real man, and when you understand that being a real man don't mean controlling your woman, it means loving your woman. Being a real man don't mean understanding your woman. It means loving your woman. Good and the bad. Her flaws make her perfect. When you see her as God's divine creation and you understand the asset that she is to your life, and you stop tying your manhood up in relation to how you treat her. You stop thinking that you're less of a man because you put her on her own pedestal. You putting her on a pedestal don't mean you beneath her. It means she's standing beside you and both of you being elevated. So understand that, so-called alpha male. Understand that. Put that message out. This ain't about being weak. Loving a woman has nothing to do with weakness because love takes strength. Honoring and respecting a woman has nothing to do with weakness because that takes strength, because it requires that you have discipline. It requires that you have self-respect. It requires that you have self-love. It requires that you die out to your ego, because your ego, you cannot go until you let the E go. You got to remove the E so your life can go. See, when I was trapped in that mindset, I was on a job working for somebody else making $20,000 a year, getting another $10,000 from a college refund check. Then I got and started making $40,000 in my business. Then I messed around and touched $150,000 in my business, but I still was not valuing my woman on the level that she should be valued. But when I started to value her and I created a safe space to where she could be open and honest with me, when she could tell me, when she could speak truth to power, because she know I could be powerful. But in order to be powerful, I first have to submit to God, and I got to surrender my ego. I got to let it go. And in order for me to be powerful, I have to be willing to listen. And when I listen to my woman and she speak truth to power and she say, this is what I see. She say, here is your gifts. These are your gifts. This is what you represent, because you can't see yourself. God did not give us the ability to see ourselves, through the eyes of someone else. So your woman can see in you and speak life into you and call from out of you what no one else can call out of you. That's what you have to understand, so-called alpha male. So when you elevate your wife and you take her from being your foot and you say, look, you the head too. We equal in this. Because if something happened to you as a man, if you have debased your woman and made her feel that you're the only shot caller and only your way is the highway, and you don't give her a highway of her own, then if something happened to you, a stroke, you run up on me and then you paraplegic for the rest of your life because you think I'm a simp. You run up on a real man thinking that you tough. And you get laid down. And now your woman got to call shots. Guess what? She don't even have the confidence to call shots because you have debased her and you have demeaned her. So what I do know about business, I teach it to my wife. What I do know about the world, I teach it to my wife. What she knows more about life than me, she teaches it to me. She done taught me so much, so it elevated me. So now my wife, she understands how to earn a living in your sleep. She understands by the stroke of a key, she can make millions of dollars a year because I showed her that. And I showed her that because she's my equal. And I showed her that because I have assets, but I also need her assets. So she is my board. She is my teammate. She is my consultant because she is valuable, because that is why God created her. He did not create her for me to demean her and for me to strip her of her agency, for me to debase her and make her think just like me. That's the problem with you, alpha male, is you think that your way is the only way. And you want her to think and act and see the world like you. But your vision is limited because your experiences are limited. Because she thinks with a different side of her brain than you on average. She sees different. She feels different. She experiences the world differently. So when you allow her to keep her voice instead of stripping her of her voice, she makes you better. And that is why the men who know that when you release your ego, when you let go of this macho act that you're trying to keep up, that's why those men are the men winning on the level that they supposed to win on. I could win on a whole nother level if I wanted to, but I'm okay earning a few $1 million a year. I'm okay with that because I was able to buy my whole family cars this year. When a lot of people is going through and they struggling and I'm praying for them, guess what I was able to do? From my income this year, I was able to give $230,000 cash money to people in need. Now, let me talk to you, alpha male. Were you able to give $230,000? Now, see, I don't talk about this. I don't share this. But since this is the language that y'all speak, since all y'all speak is currency, but you don't understand that your real currency is your character. Your character is your currency, not what's in your bank account. Because if I take what's in your bank account and you don't have character, you can't get it back. But if you strip me of everything, I can get it all back because I have character. Because I understand how to be a decent human being. And I understand that the other version of a human being, which is the woman, is not less than me, but she's equal to me. And because I understand that, I understand decency in my humanness. So therefore, I understand how to speak to the universe and call those things that be not to as though they were. I know how to speak things into existence. I know how to tap into universal laws because I understand that what God created me to come out of, I come from a woman. I would not be here had not a woman carried me for 10 months. And that's what you got to understand, grown boy. That's what you got to understand, so-called alpha male. It ain't no way, in no area, in no form of the book, in no letter are you more of a man than me because you demean your woman and don't allow her to have a voice and a mind and to call shots. Because you won't marry her and be 100% faithful to her. Because you're cheating on her on the Facebook inbox. Because you got fake accounts on Plenty of Sharks and Dumble. Because you got fake accounts on here online dating. Because you're cheating in the Instagram DM. Because you're cheating physically. And that's why your third leg is burning. Because you're nasty. Because you think this woman less than. So you're juggling her with other women. And that's why you're losing. Because you can't set a blade of grass on fire if you keep moving the magnifying glass. But see, when you magnify your woman, you set her on fire. And when you set this woman on fire, she is brought to life. She comes to life and she gives you her energy. She put it on you in every sense of the word. And I ain't just talking about the bedroom, but she brings everything that she is to you. And that's why I'm winning. Because I understand the value of my wife. Because I understand what real manhood is. Because I was a dope boy. Because I had weed and guns in my lap. Because I was in the streets 21 hours out of the 24 and I was losing. Now I make 4-5 times an hour what I used to make in a whole week. Now what I used to make in a year, I make 10 times that. I can make 10 times that in a week. Last week, I made 10 times what I used to make in a year. So you say that because I love my wife, I'm not a man and I can't do business if I love her on that level and I cherish her and respect her. That's a lie from the pit of hell. And that's why your family losing. That's why my 13-year-old son from the age of 4th grade when they start giving A's and A minuses. That's why my 13-year-old son at a private school where they are 3 grade levels ahead, where in the 8th grade they doing 11th grade work. That's why my 13-year-old son has never had an A minus, because of the household that his father has created. It's a safe space so his mother can work with him, because that's her strength and that's her gift. I don't have a college degree, but she got a master's degree. So my son don't have to stress when he doing his homework. Straight A's, no A minuses. The only kid of color doing it. The only boy in his grade doing it. That's why he just played 2 soccer games today. Scored 5 goals in the first game. In the second game, had a shutout. His man didn't do nothing. So he in the classroom winning. Straight A's, no A minuses. And then he in his sports winning. That's why he a 3-sport athlete. That's why he run 3 miles in cross country. Leave cross country and go play a full 90-minute soccer game. And then go get straight A's, no A minuses. It's because a real man is on the throne in his household. Not a so-called alpha male. Not a so-called red pill man. Not a so-called MGTOW man that's angry with women. That's butthurt with women, with the whole race of women, because of one woman cheated on you. Because your mama abandoned you. Because your daddy abandoned you. Now you're taking all your pain and your PTSD and all your childhood trauma and all your trauma bonds. You're taking it out on your woman. And you hollering, I need you to be my peace, but you being her headache. You hollering, I need you to treat me like a king, but you treat her like a handmaid. Boy, you better get your life together. And when you get your life together, and when you understand what I know about life, then we could compare M's. But right now, we can't even compare. We can't even compare in no area. We can't compare in no area, because even if you make more money than me, guess what? The bags under your eyes bigger than mine. Your eyes red. You tired. You look broke, busted, and disgusted. Even though you make more money than me, I could look you in your eyes and tell you ain't peaceful. I could tell that you don't sleep good. I could tell that the only thing that defines you is money. When I could go to bed broke and wake up rich. Because money don't make me, I make it. Because I understand the highest level of manhood is not debasing a woman and putting a woman down. It's lifting a woman up, because she is my equal, because she is. Whoa, man. She is the woman that God created, fearfully and wonderfully made. So that by me being a man does not mean that I'm smarter than her, that I'm more capable than her, that I'm better than her, that I have to call a shot. I could shut my mouth and let my wife call every shot, and my life will still flourish. Because of my presence sanctions and enhances the environment. Because she know a real man when she see one, so she don't have to argue with me. She say, if that's what you want to do, that's what we're going to do. Because she trusts me. Because she know I understand what real love is. Because she knows that I'm not operating from daddy wounds. I'm not operating from mommy wounds. I'm not operating from childhood trauma. So she trusts me. She encourages me. She speaks life into me. So y'all boys out here talking, you don't know what love is. And for the women that's out here that don't understand what love will make a man do, how far love can take a man. Listen, you better stop listening to these MGTOW red pill so-called alpha men who broke, busted, and disgusted emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. And they arguing and they trying to make a sound argument but sound dumb. Because how do you advance your culture, advance the society, advance your lineage? How do you advance your family line? By demeaning and debasing your woman. By saying that at a certain point, a woman's mind is irrelevant. That's what y'all so-called alpha men saying. How can your lineage, your family get ahead? How can you create generational wealth when it will all be squandered because of the confusion your son has, because he watches you demean his mother? So you chasing millions that I done already made. You chasing millions that I could pass down to my son, but he also understands how to respect and value and cherish a woman. He also understands how to uplift his woman. And it's okay for her to have a pedestal. It's okay for her to have a table. You know what my wife paid was last week from our company? $20,000 was her salary last week. It's okay. That's her money. And guess what? Out of my money that I'm paid, I still pay every bill in the house. And I'm not ashamed of it. What my wife could do with her money, what she want to do. Because I still take care of the investments. I still invest my money. I still pay the bills. Because what's mine is hers. What's hers is mine. But what's hers, I don't want. I want her to keep it because I'm a man, because I'm a real provider, because I'm not an alpha male, quote unquote, as y'all call it. You's a grown boy. I heard your argument and it's weak. It's too many holes in it. But when you could show me more peace, when you don't have to call another man out who working on his platform, who plowing in the fields, when you ain't got time to speak another man's name, that's when I know you own to something. That's why you don't hear me say another man's name. Because I'm too busy working. I'm doing the work up here and I can't come down from it. But guess what? I can't lead you astray and I can't leave you hanging because I know you got daddy wounds. Because I know you got childhood trauma. Because I know you probably got bullied or you probably got touched. And because you're my brother, I love you. And what I want you to understand, in order for you to go to the next level, you got to stop demeaning and debasing God's creation. Because as long as you do that, you canceling your blessings. The window of heaven can never be open. And if you don't believe in God, universal law can't even shine on you because you disrupting the natural order of things by disrespecting women. Somebody run tell that. See, everybody want to come run tell when somebody got my name in their mouth. But when the last time you shared this video on your Facebook? When the last time you told a so-called alpha man, these men who think they better than a woman and they got to put their woman down to stand taller, standing on their woman's shoulders and calling themselves a giant? It's your woman credit that help you get where you at. When you ain't have none, you lived on her lease. When you ain't have a car, you were driving a woman car, but you an alpha male. Come on now. Come on now. Y'all better get life. Hey, this Tony Gaskin. The spirit just left. Put this on your Facebook. Tell an alpha male to come see me. No, I ain't got time to argue with you on Zoom because I don't argue with fools. Because my life is the proof in the pudding. My life is the proof in the pudding. In every aspect, financially, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Watch these videos that I do. Watch these videos. Tell me how I could talk for an hour without notes every single day. It's the wisdom of God. Tell me how I could give you point after point for longer than an hour with no teleprompter, with no card. It's the wisdom of God because I've tapped into a level of clarity that comes from tapping into the highest level of self, which only is unlocked through self-love and loving a woman purely. When you learn how to love a woman purely, without controlling her, without disrespecting her, without demeaning her, without debasing her, without cheating on her, without abusing her mentally, physically, or verbally, financially, socially, when you learn how to love a woman on that level, when your goal is to shower her with love. Today I spent $11,000 on my wife, on gifts that she did not ask for. And no, it's not about material things, but I got it, so I spent it. And you know why I did it? Because she already has everything that money cannot buy. She got loving and respectful children. She got a loving and faithful husband. Yes, I have made mistakes in my life as a man. I done tripped and fell, but I didn't wallow in my mistakes. I got up. I brushed myself off. I took a lesson from the loss. So the loss was no longer a loss because it came a lesson. And then I leveled up. And then I won. And then when I won, I multiplied. And then I taught it to everybody else. That's why on Tony Gaskin's Academy, we have over 30,000 students. That's why this year alone, I have certified over 1,000 new life coaches. That's why I created my mentor.life. My creation, my mind, it runs by itself. We don't have a staff for it. The profit rate, the profit margin of my mentor.life is 94% profit. And the money go into a bank account that I don't have to touch. But it comes from a level of clarity. So that's why when you go to GaskinsUniversity.com and you go to TonyGaskinsAcademy.com and you go to MyMentor.life.com and you go to TonyGaskins.com, when you go to this digital real estate, the digital asset that I have created from a space of peace, from a space of harmony, because I don't have to worry about a woman coming out tomorrow and saying, I've been in an affair with Tony Gaskins for the last 5 years and my wife leaving me and taking half. I don't have a prenup because all I need is genuine and pure love. The mistakes I've made in my marriage, my wife already know about them. The mistakes she made, I know about them. Our in-house business is our in-house business, and we treat our relationship like a house. That's why the doors lock. That's why you don't see us posting pictures every single day. That's why my wife don't be on here on YouTube, because she say that's not my calling and I don't want no parts of it. That's what you call to, so go ahead. So listen, my house secure, my bank account secure, my business is secure, my lineage secure, my kids secure, they college already secure, they future already secure. Because I'm in a space that a man only realizes when he learns how to value and respect the asset that God put right beside you. So when he created Adam, he said, man, it's not good enough on his own. He needs a woman. And then it was the adversary who came to trick and deceive the woman, who tried to turn the woman into an opponent to the man instead of a teammate. And when you call yourself an alpha male, and when you think that means that you are higher or better or more intelligent than a woman, you become the serpent in the Garden of Eden, deceiving and stripping your generation, your lineage, your race, your culture, your people, mankind. You are stripping society of its greatest and its best asset, because without healthy and whole women, we are nothing. But until men get over ourselves and we realize that you are not a man until you can value fully a woman, that is when society evolves to where we're supposed to be. We got punks calling themselves presidents who devalue and disrespect women, who call women out their name for no reason. And then that trickles down to the Proud Boys. And then you got punk boys who saying, I'm an alpha man. And this a simp, this a cream puff over there, Tony Gaskins. But you broke, busted, and scuffed. Boy, I could buy you. If the government will sell human, I got enough to buy you, so-called alpha male. So where we at? Where we comparing at? So when you want to sit down, man to man, no cameras, and you want to compare notes, and you want to see who more blessed and highly favored because of the level that we done tapped into, we could do it. We could do it any day, because I done slept with 3 women in a day. I done been a dog. I done been there. I done had street money. I done had street justice. It don't compare to the bliss, to the peace, to the health, to the wealth. You can't offer me more money than I have to go back to the man that I was. You can't offer me $1 billion. You know why? Because I already know I'm going to make $1 billion. Because I got the blueprint to success. Because I'm honoring the woman that God has put in my life. Her way is my highway. I ain't scared to say it. Alpha man want to turn that into something weak. What that mean is that I respect my wife's mind. What that mean is I don't strip her of her agency to call shots in this household, because she is a human with a heart and a mind. And so I value her, so we could sit down like adults and we could hash things out. And I could say, this is how I think. This is how I feel. How do you think and feel? Okay, to that point, I make this point. What point do you have? And we can go back and forth. And then we devise a plan together. And we come and we are on one accord. And then we make shots. That's why I say my wife is also the head, because I don't make a move unless she's on board. Because I can't move if we don't move as one. Because that would be self-defeating. Hey, this Tony Gaskins. God bless you. Watch this again. Share this on your Facebook. Get this to a grown boy. He gonna watch it because he broken. He gonna watch it because he hurting. He gonna watch it because he lost. They send me videos of grown boys. I don't watch more than a minute because I'm already whole. I don't care about what another man got to say about me. I care about his soul. I know he lost because pain recognize pain. I know it. I done been there. I done been a punk. I done been a chump. I done been a simp. This ain't simp hood over here. This manhood over here. So I know what pain look like. I know what it looked like to be a grown boy parading and masquerading as a man. I see it in your eyes. I know you weak. I know you cry about your childhood. I know you got childhood trauma. That's why you take it upon yourself to attack a man who has become something that you have not become, who has something that you do not have. And that's true support. That's a platform that is God-given. So that intimidates you. It scares you because you know that one day it will upend what you're trying to do in these women's life. Because every single woman that you try to disrespect and demean and debase, every woman that you turn into a concubine, one day she gonna know my message. And she's going to be able to look at the way that you treat her. She's going to be able to hear your philosophy about life and about manhood. And that you think that manhood means stripping her of her womanhood. And then she's going to be able to hear what I say over here. And she's going to look at my wife. Because I'm not a single relationship coach giving relationship advice from singlehood or from a broken relationship. She's going to look at my wife. She gonna see a dripping. She gonna see a glow. She gonna see a peace. A woman know a woman who is peaceful and blessed and blissful and happy. And she gonna look at her life and she gonna count the tears coming out her eyes. And she gonna look at you, so-called alpha man. And she gonna see the money that you bringing in. And it's gonna be like gravel in her mouth. It's gonna be like hot lava under her feet. When her feet hit the ground, it burns the sole of her foot and she'd rather get back in the bed. She'd rather be dead than be beside you. Because when she see a real man, she gonna say, I want what she got. Because he values her and he respects her and he's still a man. Because I know if he had to, he'll defend to the last breath his household. And when she see that, she gonna know. What's the difference between a grown man and a grown boy? So y'all so-called alpha men who disrespecting and dogging out women, debasing women, and you trying to create tactics. You creating war tactics against the one you supposed to build with. That is dumb. That is the most ignorant thing in the world. To see the woman that you lie down and sleep with and bring children into the world with, to see her as your opponent. To see her as less than you. That is the most idiotic thing I have ever heard. But that is a trick of the enemy. Because if the enemy can create division in the household, then he can create division in your culture, division in your generation, division in your lineage, division in the next generation. Because you are the blind leading the blind. Your money gonna evaporate. Everything you buy will rust and corrode because of the way you get it is wrong. Because you disrespecting a woman to get there. So until you understand and you learn the value of a woman, you will never be a king. You will always be a pawn. You will always be a chump. You will always be lost. Hey, this is Tony Gaskin. I got to go. God bless you.